Welcome to the Coaching Corner with me, Jamila, aka the IEP Coach. And I have a quick guest who's coming to pop in and say hello, and then she's gonna pop right on out. We have Cultivated Connections here with us today.
Hey y'all!
Oh, she came to say hello. So yes, she's coming just to pop in and say hi to you guys.
Yes. See y'all later.
Oh, thank you so much for coming. Thank you so much. All right, for those of you who are new, I am Jamila, aka the IEP Coach. We talk about all things special education here at the Coaching Corner. So, before we begin, I want you to share out this live because I'm going to be talking about the post that we did today, talking about the dismantling the bill that's out with the purpose to dismantle the Department of Education. So we're gonna talk. This is gonna be like a series because there's so much to unpack in regarding to that. So share out this live. Let me know where you're tuning in from in the comments. And as I'm telling you to share it out, I am sharing it out as well. Hello, everybody that has tuned in. Hello. Let me know where you're tuning in from. Alrighty. And like I said, as I'm telling you to share it out, I am sharing it out as well. I hope everyone is having an amazing Tuesday. You know I love Tuesdays because I get to come on here and talk to you guys. It is cold. It's being consistent. The cold is being consistent. So, but I'm happy. I get to put on my nice coat. You know, nice boots and all that. So, hold on. Let me share this out. Oh, wait, I'm on the wrong page. My bad, y'all. I'm on the wrong page. Okay, go here. Okay, and share. Okay, here we go. Alrighty, so let's go ahead and get started. And please note, I will have time for questions, so don't worry. You can put your questions. Oh, okay, we got people from Nashville. Hey, so don't feel you can put your questions to the side, and you can put them in the comments right now because I'll come back to them because I don't want you to forget your question. Even if it's not about the dismantling of the Department of Education, you have a special education question, put it in the comments and I will make sure I address it. Okay. Alrighty. So we made a post. Let me back up. There is a bill out right now, and the intention of the bill is to dismantle the Department of Education, which the president-elect has been very vocal about, and said that he would focus on his first 100 days once he is in office. So I know a lot of you are like, well, what does it mean to dismantle the Department of Education? How does this relate to special education? So we're going to focus on that. Now, we're not going to focus on everything because there's so much to unpack in regards to special education. So I'm just going to focus on just like an introductory, what does it mean to dismantle the Department of Education? How would that look? And how does that affect special education? Okay? So much is already under the Department of Education. Anything education related is under the Department of Education. So you have special education, you have secondary education, you have higher education, you have, your student loans are under the Department of Education. So much that the Department of Education handles, like making sure our L students are being properly educated as well. There's so much that goes under the Department of Education, okay? So look at the Department of Education as the umbrella, the overall umbrella. Now, if the Department of Education is dismantled, they're going to take away that umbrella. Is going to be destroyed. Everything that was under that umbrella is going to get directed to another department. So you know how you have a centralized location. Hey, everything education related, the central location is the U.S. Department of Education. If that gets dismantled, everything is going to be scattered across other departments. Okay? So like in the reel that we posted today, special education could be handled by the Department of Human Services, Health and Human Services. Then, student loans will be over here with the Department of Treasury. Then you have everything will be scattered across other departments. It won't be in a central location anymore. And by it not being in a central location under the control of the federal government, the control now goes to your state. So your state will have control of the education that takes place in your state, the special education that takes place in your state. Now, you may be wondering, okay, well, how will that work? That will cause a lot of disruption because, one, funding will be disrupted. There's a certain amount of funding that comes from the federal government to all public schools across the country. So by the Department of Education going away, those schools will perhaps no longer get the funding that they were getting. And if they're not getting the funding that they are used to getting, they're going to have to cut jobs, which would be cutting teachers' roles. Schools could possibly have to close. Many public schools will have to close. So if public schools are closing, where will your children go? They either could go to a charter school or go to a private school. However, if your child has an IEP, private schools aren't obligated to implement IEPs. And many don't have the support and staff to support students that have IEPs, especially if your child has complex needs. Okay? Charter schools, your child can go to a charter school. They may have the staff to support your child. They may not. Okay, so that's one thing. Now, the IDEA, the Individuals with Disabilities Education Act, that's the federal special education law that is enforced to make sure students that have special needs are given a free, appropriate public education in their least restrictive environment. And they uphold the IDEA law, making sure that IEP is being followed, making sure your child is getting the supports that they need. It's regulated across the country. Now, if the Department of Education goes away and it goes to your state may not interpret IDEA the way the government has been interpreting the IDEA and enforcing the law, that the IDEA law. So, by states having different interpretations of the IDEA law, that will interrupt any type of programming and service that your students and children receive. Okay? Because it's going to depend on your state's interpretation of it. They can say, well, hey, we made sure your child had a classroom. We made sure they had a teacher. We made sure they had that. That's IDEA, even though it's like, well, actually, no, it's not. But because there's no more Department of Education, you have to go with what your state is going to provide for you, which can disrupt a whole lot in regards to the programming for your child, in regards to the services for your child. Okay? So that is just like the beginning of how it can interrupt the services for your child. Now, when we think of funding, Title I funding comes from the government. You have Title II, you have Title III. You have so much title money that is to be used for different educational purposes in the public schools. So you have Title I money for different resources and programs for all students in your school. You have Title II money that is used for the training of teachers and your leadership. Title II money. Then you have Title III money that is used specifically for your L population. Making sure they have the supports, making sure they have the actual staff that can support them. So with the title money, it's to be used for different educational purposes. So if that money goes away, our public schools will be drained of the funding and resources, which will cause them to close. And the purpose of dismantling the federal Department of Education is because our president-elect wants to have school choice, which is to have your kids go to private school, have your kids go to charter schools. Oh, excuse me. Have your kids go to private schools, have your kids go to charter schools. But it's not, we don't have equity there. They don't have to take students that have IEPs, private schools. You know, you may have multiple children in your house. You're like, I can't afford that. You can't afford it. And then also, is this private school educating my child the way I want my child to be educated? Are they pouring into my child the way I want my child to be supported and poured into? Okay? So those are some of the changes that will happen. And especially if, again, the federal government, the Department of Education is no longer there to enforce IDEA. So it's like districts get funds from IDEA specifically for special education to provide services and supports for our students that have IEPs. That will be gone. And as a result, it will disrupt the programming and services for our students that have IEPs. Okay? So that's just all I want to share. We're going to unpack some more, but that's just the beginning part of how dismantling the Department of Education, the effect that it will have on special education. Does anybody have questions about this particular topic, or if you have a question regarding special education, please put it in your comments now so I can answer for you. Okay? And while you're doing that, you guys are loving the IEP in a Nutshell workshop. Oh my gosh, it was amazing this November. We had a huge turnout, and so by popular demand, we're going to have it again. But because it's, around the holiday time, instead of doing it in December, we're going to do it the first Tuesday in January, which will be January the 7th. So I'm going to go ahead and drop the link for you guys to register for that. Those of you who are following us on Instagram, you can just click the link in the bio and you can register. Everyone else, I'm putting it in the comments now. And again, somebody said I want a snow day. And again, if you have any questions about the dismantling of the Department of Education, which we were talking about this evening, or if you just have a special education question, please feel free to put it in the comments. And I know it takes you a minute to type, so go ahead, take your time. Let me see if we have any questions. Oops. Let me go ahead and see if we have any questions. Hold up. Okay. And don't be shy. You can ask your questions. What is this? Let me see. I think I probably have to go through the other way to get to it. Okay, we have a question. Assalamu alaikum. So overall, it will be up to the state to decide. So yes, so by the Department of Education at the federal level being dissolved, meaning it's no longer there, the state will have control of education. Your state will have control of your education. So your state will control how the special education will work, how all of that will work. Okay? Is it Tifa Sal? I apologize if I mispronounced your name. So yeah, your state will have control and decide how education will take place, how special education will take place in your state. And again, it's going to depend on their interpretation of the IDEA law, how they feel that they're going to provide IDEA law, how they feel that they will provide FAPE for your appropriate public education, how they're going to do that. Yes, I'm a first-year Sped teacher. Oh, congratulations. Wish you the best. It is a very rewarding role. So yes. Are you in a district or are you in a charter school, a charter network? So let me put this on LinkedIn so that way everyone has the link, because for some reason I don't think it went through. Right there. Are you in a charter network or are you in a school district? Alright, let me put this here so they have it. There we go. Alright, let me come back over here. Alright, we got a, no, do we have a question? Let's see. Alright, districts. So that, yes, so, and something that he, the president-elect has said was he wants to get away with it. He's not a fan of public education, public schools. So, it's a money thing. I'm trying to, my friends that have private schools, I want them, we're trying to have the kids go to private schools, and charter schools. And I'm quite sure he's going to dress it up, I'm curious to know what the plan is because, hey, if the Secretary of Education is the co-founder of the WWE, who has no background in education, the only thing related to education she has done was she was on a school board for a year. And you don't have to have an education background to be on a school board. And this is who you chose to handle education for our country. I question your judgment. Question your judgment. Like, what does she know about education? What does she know about special education? Like, what does she know about what our children need and require? Absolutely nothing. All right. Any more questions? Any more questions? If you don't have any more questions, we're going to go ahead and head on out. It is okay if the questions come to you later. Feel free to send us a message on our social media. We are very responsive. And we are at the IEP Coach LLC on all of our social media platforms. So Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube. You can send us a message. You can also email us as well. Yes, you can DM me. You can DM me. That's fine. All right. So remember, we go live every Tuesday at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where we talk about all things special education. I am Jamila, aka the IEP Coach. I'm the founder and CEO of the IEP Coach LLC, where we make Sped simple and easy by providing tailored support to your schools, professional development and training, so that way your teachers can thrive and not just survive. Okay? Now, remember, please be kind to yourself. Please give yourself grace. Remember, you're only one person, and you only have the ability to do what you can do. Remember your capacity. Do not ignore it. Okay? And we will see you all next Tuesday at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Have an amazing evening and be safe.